Hi. I thought since tomorrow is 19th of June here in Sweden, and that makes it a special day. It's Midsummer. Traditionally, when I was a little girl, it was always the 24th of June, exactly 6 months before Christmas. But some time ago they changed it because to have it more closely to the weekend, just for the working places. So near a weekend between 19th and 24th, that's usually when we celebrate Midsummer. Midsummer in Sweden is a big tradition. Usually you go, if you are into that lifestyle, camping with friends, or open up your garden and have long tables where you sit and eat, because it's a tradition that you celebrate Midsummer with friends, because it's a party, and it's a very magical night. Summer in Sweden is a little bit special. Since I've been abroad, I know the sun doesn't really set in Sweden in summer. Doesn't get really dark, especially not around Midsummer. Usually a couple of hours of light dark, you can say, before the sun goes up again. And that makes it a tradition to stay up till the sun rises. We usually have a maypole that we dances around, and traditional music and songs, and we play with our children and games, everything you can come up with. A fun way to hang out with your friends, or you sit down and talk and have something nice to drink and talk and sing. Usually somebody picks up a guitar and start playing, and everybody starts singing. That's much of a traditional as anything. But since I like stories, and I like telling stories, and I like listening to stories, and I think a lot. Midsummer comes me thinking of the folklore, all the old traditions that maybe we don't celebrate as much anymore, but they are there in the back of our heads, at least if you have heard about them. And I thought maybe I should tell some about the old ways, the old folklore about Midsummer. There are do's and don'ts in the Midsummer nights. In the early morning, usually just before the sun really rises, there are usually forms of like a morning mist. And in the folklore, you should avoid that mist because the fairies are dancing, and you don't want to get caught in the fairy dance. Usually you should run away from that. You shouldn't do, there is a tradition, you should not disturb all the faunas or the creatures that lives in the nature here in Sweden, like fairies and the little people that we called in the old folklore, and goblins And trolls. We have trolls. There are many stories about that. But when it comes to special traditions, romantic traditions about the Midsummer nights, the girls usually still do this. They go and pick flowers. In fact, 7 different flowers, and put them under the pillow in the night, because it's a way to dream about the man you're gonna marry, your future husband. That's still a tradition. I think many still do that. I remember never dreaming about that, but I remember the bugs in the bed. I'm not fancy about them. They were in the flowers, so usually the flowers got thrown on the floor in the middle of the night. In the old ways, picking flowers, you did it very special. You had to jump over 7 fences to pick 7 flowers. 1 flower in every fence. Since in the old days there were many fields, they were easier to have fences. Nowadays it's not so many. So we just pick 7 flowers. And this midsummer is even more magical because it's the solar system. And in the folklore and the old traditions, it makes it even more magical. So you never know what's going to happen this night, tomorrow night. So maybe it's time to go out and look what's going to happen. But I thought I wouldn't tell you some of it. There are many stories, and since, as I said, I loved stories as a girl. But there was a catch. I gladly listened to every story. But some of them wasn't really logical for me. And when there was no logic in them, I couldn't really comprehend them. I couldn't take them to heart. There has to be a sense of logic in them. That's just how I am. So, I love stories. And I love to fantasize about them. But there has to be some truth in them. So, I'm gonna leave you now. And I wish you a really good midsummer. And talk to you soon.